Hello, this is your local librarian Christy at the Zion Bend Public Library, and I will be showing you how to crochet this really cute bookmark. It's pretty much, we're going to do some single crochets here, and then we will be chaining to get the length that we need for the bookmark, and then up here we will finish with some double crochet. So this is a fantastic beginner piece because it walks you through single crochet, chaining, and double crochet. So to start, I am going to be using a 6.5 millimeter hook. When you are starting out, a bigger hook is better for you because it's easier to see what's going on. So first, let's go over the knee of the hook. This here is the point. This is what you will use to stab it through the stitches. This is the lip. It's what you use to hook it. This here is the throat. This is the shaft that holds the working stitches. Here is your thumb rest. It's also where you're going to find your labeling number. So this one here says 6.5 millimeter, and this is the shaft. This is the handle. You can use different hands. I am right-handed, and I like to hold it in a knife grip. So my thumb is here, and I'm holding it like this. The yarn goes in my left hand. The left hand is what holds the yarn and keeps the tension. Your right hand should be free to move around. So let's get started with a slip stitch. So I'm going to put the hook down for a second. You're going to take your yarn, and you're going to loop it over, making sure that it's cross on top, and then you take the hook through from the bottom side, and we're going to grab the yarn and we're going to pull it through, and then we pull it tight. And there we go. We have our first stitch, and that's how you get on the hook. So one of the important things about crocheting is tension. The way you hold tension depends on how you hold your yarn. You can hold it a couple different ways. This is how the Woobles crochet group teaches you how to hold it. So you take the yarn, you wrap it over your finger, down, up and over, and you're supposed to hold tension that way. So while working, it is more the tension down here that holds the yarn. So by bracing it between your pinky finger and the top is how you hold tension. I'm gonna hold it how I was taught, which I just wrap my finger around, and then I move it up and down or unloop however I need it to. This is the part that seems to be the trickiest. So you have your yarn held however. You need to be grasping the tail with your left hand. Your left hand is keeping this string right here taut. So it's kind of tight, and that's what you want because it helps you hook the hook easier. So because I'm pinching down here with my other fingers, I can move the hook around freely, and that's what you want for crocheting. So we're going to start with chaining 6. So you chain 1, and that is a chain. So chaining is just grabbing the yarn and pulling it through the loop. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And as you can see, I am twisting my hand to get the hook to kind of sit like this because the yarn tends to catch under the hook better. If I went like this, I'd have a harder time getting it through because the lip would get stuck. But if you turn it down, then the lip can go in between this little hole as you pull it through. So let's count. We count how many V's we have on our chain so far. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this one right here is 6. So when turning, we always skip the first one, which is this here is the stitch we're currently on. This here, this V, is the stitch we're in next. So we're going to skip this one, and now we're going to single crochet. So I'm skipping this one here, and I'm going to come into this one right here. So we're going to stab it through, and as you can see, I'm using my other fingers. My index finger is holding the yarn up, and then I use my thumb and the other fingers to grasp the project. So we're going to this stitch here, so I'm holding it, and we're going to stab it through. And yarn over is this section here, so we're going to yarn over and pick up a loop, and now we have 2 loops on our hook. So to complete the single crochet, we will go through 2. A lot of people like to go through 1, pick up, go through 2 loops. That is actually a slip stitch, and they don't quite look the same. A slip stitch is not as tall as a single crochet, so we want to keep it even. So we're just going to undo that. So pull some more of my yarn. Here, We've done 1 single crochet, so now we're on the next one, which leaves 1, 2, 3, 4, and we are at the end of the chain because we already 5 single crochet across 5 times. So we're doing row 1, stitch 2, you stab it, you come under to grab the yarn, twisting the hook to grab it as I let go, and then you pull it through. So now we have 2 stitches on the hook, 2 loops on the hook, and then you pull it through. And now we have 2 single crochets. So we'll do that 3 more times. So stitch 3, so here we're grabbing it, 2 loops, pulling through 2, we complete 3, stitch 4, 2 loops, down to 1, and stitch 5. Grab 1, 2 loop, pull through 2. Now, since we are at the end of the row, we need to create the height to help us turn around. So to do that, you are going to chain 1. And we are now going to ignore that stitch that we just made, and we're going to go back into this one here. And that's what you'll always do every time. So we're going to turn our work. This stitch right here is the one we're ignoring, this gray one. And this one right here, this half gray, half black, is our first stitch of the row, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4. And this white stitch over here is our last stitch. So we're going to stab it. This time we're going through both loops because we are no longer on the foundation chain. Grab once, pull through 2. And now we're going to stab it again, pull once, pull through 2, 2 stitches. Once again, stab once, pull through 2. We're at 3, stab once, pull through 2, and this is our white stitch, which we said was our last stitch, so we're going to stab 1 and pull through 2. So now count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have all 5 of our stitches. We are at the end of the row, so you know what time that is? Yep, it is time to chain 1 and turn our work. Pull out some more yarn, keep your tension. So right here, this black stitch is our chain stitch. So we'll be going straight into the gray one because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 stitches. So, and we are on, this is row 1, this is row 1, this is row 2, so we're on row 3. So let's go ahead and give the gray stitch a stab, yarn over, pull through a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Stitch 2, yarn over, pull through, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Stitch 3, we're stabbing through, yarning over to grab a loop, and now we have 2 loops on our hook, and we're going to pull through those. We've completed 3 out of 5, so we're on 4, and then 5. So one more time, chain 1, turn, and now we're going to go back into this white because we skipped the stitch that we chained. We just chained to help us get up to the height to turn around. Otherwise, your pattern will start to taper inward as you keep losing those stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I missed both loops. Now we have both loops on the hook. Through 2, 2 loops, through 1, 1 more, and then we should be going back to the start. So we are skipping this first one that we chained. We're going to go into this gray. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, so this is some rows of single crochet. This is what and don't mind this, this is much tighter and I used a much smaller hook, so that's why they're about off, but they are still rather close to each other. So we have finished one side. So we have finished one side, so now we're just going to chain. As long as you want, you can grab a book for reference to make sure that you are able to have your bookmark actually fit in the book that you want to use it for. So we'll do this, I'll turn it this way, and you are just going to chain. And remember, chaining is just you have your hook, you're pinching your project, grabbing the yarn, and pulling it through the loop. And you're going to just keep doing that until you have as many stitches you want. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is where we're at 10. Still not quite ready, so we got a ways to go. I'll do 10 more. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. For those of you that do not have a quiet room to be practicing in, you can always keep a piece of paper with you to be writing down your numbers. That way if someone tries to talk to you, you can just jot down what number you're on. But at the same time, this is just a fun project that we'll be done with relatively soon, so you don't even have to keep track. But we will. So we're at 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Where are we at? And that's the nice thing about crochet is you can always just going. And if you want to, if you went too far and you want to undo it, you can just pick up your hook, take your hook out of the loop, go ahead and grab it, and it will undo. And that's actually some of the fun things about crochet, is that if it isn't looking right, you can just undo it. We call it frogging because you rip it. But yeah, you can just frog the project and start over again. You do have to be careful with some yarns because the more times you frog it, the more frayed it looks. But aside from that, that's pretty much your only concern. So, all right. So we're here. Let's do about 10 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that looks much better for a bookmark. It can at least fit in the book. So once you have your desired length of the bookmark, we will then chain 7 more. So we'll do 7 single, that's 8. We'll do 7 single crochets after that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So let's get the book out of here so we can see better. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this white guy here is our 7th stitch, so we have 7. Since we are going to be doing double crochet now, we'll be doing a different stitch. This one is larger single crochet, hence why it's called a double. So for this one, we have to yarn over before we start. So we yarn over, which just means we put the yarn over our hook before we get in, so this will create a loop, go through. So this one, once again, this stitch right here is the first stitch, this one here is our second, so this will be third. Yarn over, third stitch, we're going to step through, pick up 1, and we have 3 loops on our hook. This is why it's called a single crochet, because you will be picking up a loop and pulling through 2 twice. So we're going to pull through 2. If we had not yarned over, we would have been able to complete this step, but we have the 2, so we have to yarn over and pull through 2 again. So we yarn over, and we're going to step through and pick up a loop. We have 3 loops on our hook, but to complete a stitch, it's always pull through 2 and pull through 2, unless a stitch says otherwise, but that's the basics of crochet. But now we have our double crochet, which are already looking much bigger than our single crochet, because the double crochet take up about 2 spaces of the single. Making sense why it's called a double. So we've done 2, yarn over, stab through this white guy here, pull through 2, and then pull through 2 again. Yarn over, pull through 1, or grab a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, so we have to do 1 more stitch, and then we are ready to go. We will have our 5 double crochets. All right, and I'm just going to pull this loop up here so we can see what we're doing. So here we go. These are our 5 double crochets. We have 1 black guy, 3 gray, another black, and if you can see right here, we also have this little bit. This is what you get when you're chaining over, and this is what I mean for you have to build up to the height of the row. So we will go ahead and, because we're doing a double crochet, we need to chain twice. So we chain once, we chain twice, and now we can turn. And now we yarn over, and this first gray stitch is going to be your stitch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Over here, those are 5 stitches. So the first one is the gray and black. Stab through, pick up. We have 3 stitches on the hook. Go through 2, go through 2. Grab my yarn. And as you can see, I keep pinching the work with my left hand so the hook is free to move around. If you want to try, you can also try pencil hold, and I believe with that one, you can then hold the work with your right hand as well. So yarn over, stab through, pick up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. We have 2 stitches. We need to do 3 more double crochets. So we're yarning over, stabbing through once, pulling through 2, pulling through 2, yarn over, stab through again, pull a little bit loop, pull through 2, and pull through 2. Yarn over, stab the loop, pick up, pull through 2, pull through 2. And let's just do one more row since they won't be even, but that's because we're doing single crochet and double crochets. But seeing how just 2 rows of double crochet is pretty much equal to the 5 rows of single crochet that we did. But that's just a cool way, and especially with the variegated yarn, you get to see how the stitches move differently. So, chain 2, turn your work, yarn over. So we're skipping the first 2, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We yarned over, stabbing in the first one, picking up a loop, pull through 2, 2 loops, pull through 2. We're down to 1 loop again. Yarn over. Doing that. Seeing how this loop here, this is technically what you yarned over, and that gives you that extra loop. So we're going to pull through 2 and pull through 2. So we have 3 more stitches to go because we did 1, 2, and then we're almost done. So yarn over, stab it through, grab it, pick it up 1 or 2. Yarn over, stab it through, 3 loops on the hook, pull through 2, pull through 2, and our last stitch. Stab, pick up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2, and here is our double crochet. And with this, let me just get some scissors, and we will give it a cut. I like to just do one more pull through on my stitches just to make them tight. And now that it's nice and tight, you can take this and you'll just want to weave it in between the stitches. And this is how you weave in your ends. You can also just cut it short if you want to. This is something that takes a lot of extra work. And especially with variegated yarn, it's a lot harder to see where all of the yarn winds up. So I'm just kind of going through to hide the tail inside the project so that I don't have to keep looking at it later. And this way, it should also stay nice and secure. I'm trying to wrap it around the gray bit so that it blends in, so that you shouldn't be able to see it later on. So yeah, we're gonna wind it up in the black. You can just use the hook to loop things through. There we go. And I'm just going to tie this off here. So here's part of it what it's into. Just gonna do a simple knot. So there is our loop. As soon as I get you under the other, and then we will give it a go. And there we go. That is how you make a bookmark. You can then trim off the extra ends that you have. And there we go. That is our bookmark. This was our single crochet side. This was our double crochet. And you can always try it with a smaller hook size. If you want to try it smaller, it will make it just tighter. If you are also having a hard time with how tight it is, you want to try to loosen the yarn and maybe try going for a larger size hook. That way it will be easier to finagle. All right, this was your friendly librarian at the Zion Benton Public Library with how to crochet.